Hi readers, it's Mrs. T with Baker County Community Literacy Coalition. I have two books to tell you about. The first is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, and the second is Coyote Lost and Found. So this is the first book, this is the second, and I figured I would do the book talk on both of them since I have both of them to bring to you. In The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, we learn about the main character Coyote and her dad Rodeo, and they have been living on a school bus and traveling across the United States for the last 5 years. That's just the way they've lived their life. What also happened 5 years ago was that they lost her mother and her two sisters in a bad car accident. So I think home just didn't feel like home without them, and so they just took off on the bus. So they've been on the road for that whole time, and Coyote finds out that the public park in the neighborhood where she used to live is going to be demolished. And she and her mother and sisters had buried a memory box in that park, and she wants to get it back before the park is demolished. So she comes up with this plan to get her dad to drive 3,600 miles across the country back to where they used to live. She just keeps suggesting new places to go. She doesn't tell him why and where she's hoping that they'll end up. During their many days of driving, they pick up other travelers, and each of them brings, a new interesting character to the book. And each person has their own story of love or loss and heartache. And together on the road, they find kindness and healing, really. This book has a lot of big feelings in it, and I admit the first time I read it years and years ago, I had to stop because I couldn't see to read farther because I was crying. I'm a big smushy crybaby over, things of the heart, and this book just makes you feel stuff. How can it not? She and her dad are heartbroken about losing a big part of their family. So it's a lovely book. It has a lot of big feelings. But I know some kids, stuff like this happens. I was a grown-up before I lost my parents, and I haven't lost any siblings yet. But I know sometimes it happens when you're young. And so this is a book that just talks about how a kid works through that, and it's just really very lovely. The second book, Coyote Lost and Found, this story happens about a year after they have stopped traveling on the bus and they have moved to a very small town in Oregon. And she's been going to regular school instead of being homeschooled. And it's been really hard for her to settle in and get used to that kind of a life because she was used to being on the road. She has kind of been starting to make some peace with her mother and her sisters being gone, and she's still grieving for them. But she discovers a box containing her mom's ashes, and I think her dad had hidden it from her, I'm not sure. And there was some kind of a message with the box talking about where she had hidden a message about where she would like her final resting place to be. So when she died, there was a special place that she wanted her body or her ashes or whatever to be returned to. The thing about it is, that note was tucked inside a special book. Coyote did not know about that, and somewhere along their 5 years of travel, she mistakenly sold the book or traded it in at a used bookstore. So of course, she is freaking out and feels horrible because she didn't know that that special thing was hidden in a book. Her dad probably knew about it. He might have forgotten, I can't remember. Much like the first book, this one has Coyote tricking her dad into another big road trip. They're kind of retracing their steps of the previous 5 years of travel because she wants to stop at every bookstore where she thinks they stopped or where she can remember that they stopped and try to find that book because the message inside is what she's after. So again, when they hit the road, they find other travelers and they pick them up and drive them And some people stay for many days and some people just for a ride down the road a little bit. But again, there's just such beautiful relationships in this story, and everybody that they meet has something interesting in their life that's been going on and why they're on the road. She and her dad in this book, they really learn how to communicate better with each other. They both lost the mom. They both lost the sisters. And even though they know that, they haven't really ever talked in a deep way about that missing and that grief. And so again, it's another book full of big feelings and lots of Kleenex and crying, for me anyway. I loved both of these and I have recommended them to grown-ups that I know. Alrighty friends, I will see you very soon. I will bring both books and I'll have them marked which is 1 and which is 2. So if maybe you've already read the first one, you can grab the second one. Happy reading, I'll see you soon.